Live from Pruitt Field on the banks of the Hockin River, it's a Mid-American Conference showdown as the 5-3 Ohio Bobcats host the 4-4 Kent State Golden Flashes. Good afternoon and welcome everybody to a production of Ohio Field Hockey on Ohio Bobcat TV. My name is Cedric Granger, and I'm joined by Charlie James. And Charlie, both of these two teams in this matchup really like to challenge themselves. But what ways in the scheduling has Kent State challenged themselves this season?
Yeah, Kent State's done a really good job of preparing for MAC play with a lot of ranked teams on their schedule. They've played Liberty, they've played Syracuse, they got Penn State and Ohio State coming up. So they've really made a point of challenging their players and getting the best out of them to get prepared for MAC play.
Yeah, and you can't sleep on MAC games also being pretty challenging, as Kent State will have to go at Miami later this season. And of course, this game against the Bobcats is one of those ones that's pretty tricky on their schedule as well. As for the Bobcats, they've had some tough opponents as well, going on a Virginia road trip where they played against Longwood and Virginia Commonwealth University, going 1-1 despite their bus breaking down, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was a unforeseen hiccup there on the road trip, but they seem to get a lot out of that Virginia trip. A lot of good competition, preparing for MAC games the same way as Kent State is. And it seems to be working. 5-3 record. They come back here at home with Kent State. They got Michigan State coming up. So we'll see how that Virginia road trip kind of pays off in the future in terms of experience.
Yeah, it's a big home weekend for the Bobcats. It is their first all-home weekend of the season. They'll have another one coming up later on. But for now, the Bobcats are focused on the Kent State Golden Flashes. And speaking of Kent State, what's their starting lineup looking like for today, Charlie?
So between the pipes for the Golden Flashes, we have Cecile Van Eyck. And then on the field, we have Maria Combasoler, and then Iris Becker, Caitlin Holland, Danielle Ham, Jenna McCrudden, Sydney Washburn, Patricia Strunk, and we have Augustina Florio, Larissa Balachik, and rounding out the starting lineup is Maya Sarah Beirus.
Yeah, you got to watch out for some of those players. Sydney Washburn had 2 goals against the Bobcats last year. She'll definitely be a player we'll have circled here in this matchup. As for the Ohio Bobcats, in the goal will be Nile Grainer, making her 8th start of the year. She's 4-3 on the season, and she'll get the start today for the Cats. And then on the field, it'll be Lucy Davis, Noah Day Martez, Bodie Littlefield, Mila Kopp, Marla Call, Caitlin Whittle, Mainsha Lichtenberg, Sasha DeKotla, Emily Risser, and rounding it out with Wesley Littlefield. It's the Ohio Bobcats and the Kent State Golden Flashes, the first home MAC game for the Bobcats. Will they be able to start it off right, or will it be the Golden Flashes going home with their 10th straight victory over the Bobcats? You'll find out after the break. You're listening to Ohio Bobcat TV. welcome back to Pruitt Field. Cedric Granger joined by Charlie James as the Bobcats look to have their home opener here in conference play. So far through conference play, they went on the road against the Miami Redhawks and they fell in that game. And then they bounced back against Longwood a week later, being able to beat Longwood 3-2. So that's where they sit in the MAC standings. But let's take a look at the bigger picture here in the MAC. When we look at the top of the conference, Miami of Ohio is 6-4, 2-0 in conference with wins over Ohio as well as Bellarmine. So they're off to a great start. Kent State trying to keep pace with them, 4-4, 2-0 in the conference, coming off of wins against App State and then most recently Ball State, where they won 7-0, Charlie.
Yeah, very big wins there for Kent State. They are no strangers to putting up big numbers. They have some 5-goal games, some 7-goal games. They can certainly put the ball in the back of the net whenever they desire. And you can see how that challenging out-of-conference schedule has really set them up for success in the MAC. And it works against Ball State and App State.
And then the rest of the standings, Bobcats, they sit at third. They're in a big tie, a 4-way tie to be exact, with Appalachian State, Bellarmine, and Ball State. Ohio is 5-3, and they have the best overall record, so that's giving them the nod over teams like App State and Ball State, who are sitting at 4-4. Bellarmine is 1-8. Longwood 2-7, 0-2, and then Central Michigan has struggled 1-8, 0-2. The Bobcats have played against Central Michigan this year, but it was not a MAC conference game. They will play their official MAC conference game later on this season on October the 14th right here at Pruitt Field. But for now, First Touch is about to be underway. The Bobcats will be rocking their all-black home uniforms, and Kent State will be rocking the gold. It's black and yellow here from Athens as First Touch will go out of play on the far side. And it is great to have Ohio field hockey back at Pruitt Field. It's been a little bit. The last home game that the Bobcats played was against Queens on September 18th. And as we near October, the Bobcats are finally back at home.
Yeah, perfect 3-0 record for the Bobcats, and you got to wonder if they can keep that going. There's obviously something that's clicking about Pruitt Field, about being at home, being able to rest and recover. It is obviously working pretty well for the Bobcats. See if they can keep it up.
Kent State also struggles on the road relative to their home record. They are 3-1 at home, but away from Ellis Field, the Bobcats, or the Kent State Golden Flashes rather, struggle. They are 1-3. So that could be to the Bobcats' favor. But one thing that Kent State likes to do is try to start fast. Against Ball State, they scored in the first 2 minutes of that game. Yeah,
that Ball State game was a really that was a good look for the Kent State Golden Flashes, putting up 7 goals like that. They're riding like a tsunami of momentum coming into this game, and they got to keep it up here against the Bobcats.
There's good defense there from Bodie Littlefield. Littlefield has her only goal of her career against Kent State, and it was a big one. As the name of the game last year, the Bobcats, they fell on the road to Kent State 3-2, but they had a lot of players that maybe are more on the role player side or more on the defensive side of the game getting goals. It was Lucy Davis, who has 1 goal per season, and she had her 1 goal last season against Kent State. And then Bodie Littlefield with the only goal of her career coming against Kent State. So for the Bobcats to win today, Charlie, they're not only going to need big plays, but there's a shot on goal, and that's going to bounce off of Mila Kopp's ankle. As ahead of everybody, it looked like it was Patricia Strunk who has a goal on the year, and she's able to force the penalty corner.
Yeah, penalty corners for Kent State has worked out pretty well. 51 penalty corners on the year, solid, and they have a solid scoring percentage on those penalty corners. And like I said earlier, their offense is really clicking as of late, about a 50% shots on goal average out of the shots that they end up taking.
They also are going to be helped by the fact that the Bobcats are missing a key defender and a nuke plan. She is out for this match, and Coach Body, she hopes to have her back by the Michigan State game, but nothing is a given, so the Bobcats will be down a defender, so they're going to need some players to step up. They called upon Emily Risser, a second-generation Ohio Bobcat. Her mom played in the 1990s, to be there to provide some defenses. There's a great save from Neela Grainer, being able to dive right and knock it out to the right and being able to stave off the Golden Flashes.
That's a fantastic save from Grainer. That's a real confidence builder there. Being able to stop that first shot helps you stop the second one.
So now that ball is thrown out of play, or knocked out of play, rather. Mila Kopp on the defense, and now Kent State will reset as they try to set up for another attack as we are in the 3rd minute of the game. one shot on goal for Kent State early. And they're going to try to work their way in their attacking circle again. A solid pass. It's a one-on-one outside. Grainer goes down, and that shot is scored. It's a goal for Kent State, and it's Patricia Strunk, who already had one shot earlier, and she's able to pick up her second goal of the year, 1-0. Golden Flashes flashing early.
Yeah, 3 minutes into the game, you talked about how quickly Kent State's able to strike offensively, and you saw it right there. Strunk was left all alone, little hole there in the Bobcats defense. Grainer went down a little earlier than I thought she should have, and Strunk made no mistake, put it in the back of the net 3 minutes in.
So now it's an opportunity for the Bobcats to be able to counterattack, as this is 2 straight games now for Kent State where they've been able to score and score quickly, as Kent State's looking to continue their dominance over Ohio. Ohio has not beaten them since 2013, and that was a magical season for the Bobcats as they took down not only Kent State but Miami. And ever since then, Bobcats have shot blanks against both of those teams. They've been close, though. They have put each of those teams on upset alert a couple of times. And it would be kind of an upset if the Bobcats were able to take down Kent State today, as there's a passing error, so the Bobcats will have good offensive position. As Kent State, they are coming into this game, Charlie, ranked 27th in FPI.
Yeah, we were talking to Coach Bodie before this game, and she basically just laid down the mindset that it's all about confidence here for the Bobcats. They just need to settle down, play their game, don't get rattled, and she believes that they can beat anybody in the MAC.
And it'll be key for the Bobcats to be able to take care of business, especially for your home MAC games. They got a tough draw with having to play Miami on the road, but having Kent State at home provides a great opportunity, as there was almost a shot. It was off of a ricochet from Maincha Lichtenberg, and it went to the right of the net. And I'm sure a lot of Kent State players jumped right there at that opportunity, because she can score in an instant. She is the co-offensive player of the week in the Mid-American Conference. And she has been electric this year with 6 goals as Takatla tries to work her way in, and she's rewarded for it with a penalty corner. So right when Kent State gets a penalty corner, the Bobcats get one right back. Tisket for Tasket. Can they score a goal off of it? We'll see.
That has to be a huge confidence boost for the Bobcats. You see Kent State jumped all over them offensively earlier in this game, and now you get to see the Bobcats have an opportunity to strike back. If the Bobcats hope to stay competitive in this game, I think they have to capitalize on their opportunities, and that includes penalty corners.
And here it is. It's a penalty corner number 1 for the Bobcats and penalty corner number 48 on the season. They did struggle with the penalty corners a bit in their game against Queens, where they weren't able to convert on a lot of them, whether it was due to passing errors or just being able to not take advantage of their opportunities and shots. But here today against Kent State, there is less margin of error against such a talented team. So here it is for the Bobcats. In the 5th minute of the game, Lucy Davis will pass it in for the penalty corner. Gets a little tap on there. Day Moretz has the ball. Now she gets it out to Kopp at the top of the key. Kopp fires a shot, and that shot is scored. It's a goal for the Bobcats. Electricity already here in Pruitt Field, and we're just 5 minutes into the game, Charlie.
Yeah, that was fantastic. Like I said, I mean, the Bobcats, they had to capitalize on those opportunities that they get, because against a team like Kent State, you're just not going to get a whole lot. Lucy Davis did not get a whole lot of mustard on that initial pass in, but the Bobcats cleaned it up, and it's a tie ball game.
Yeah, potentially could have been a ricochet in there. We saw Mila Kopp fire the shot at the top of the key of the attacking circle, and then not sure from our perspective if anybody else got a potential tip on that. But nevertheless, that's exactly what the Bobcats needed. Kent State kind of came in. They're on the road. They provide a sucker punch to you early. And what do the Bobcats do? They're able to regroup, fight back, and be able to convert on a penalty corner, something that they weren't able to do too much against Queens. And against Kent State, they've shown a lot of improvement. And it really comes from having all those practices. I've gone to a lot of practices where I see them out there practicing penalty corners for 30, 40, 50 minutes sometimes. And that effort has really paid off, as the Bobcats are matching Kent State Golden Flashes right now. As this has been a great battle. We're only 5 minutes into this game, and it's hard to believe we've already seen this much action, Charlie. And this season, I've always felt a little slighted because I don't get to call too many Ohio goals. I get a lot of the scoreless quarters, and then you come in, you got the Maincha Lichtenberg game-winning goal, and then course, with our friends Gavin as well as Daniel, they got a couple of goals for the Bobcats against the Queens, so I was feeling a little left out out here in the broadcast booth.
Well, there you go. You get rewarded for all your scoreless quarters. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Getting a little bit of action here as we'll go ahead and do a little summary already, as we've had a lot going on, as it looks like Kent State's won on a little bit of a timeout. It's a nice 62 degrees, so not having to deal with any more of those super hot 90-degree days that we had earlier in the season. But in the 3rd minute, it was a quick goal from Patricia Strunk, who has her 2nd goal of the season for the freshman from New Germany. And then on the other side of things, the Bobcats respond in the 5th minute as Mila Kopp scores her 2nd goal of the season. And that's how we're at 1-on-1.
See Coach Johnstein over there talking to the officials. I believe that Kent State was wondering if that shot came within the attack circle or if it was outside the attack circle. The refs decided that it was inside the attack circle, and this is a 1-1 game.
Yeah, keen observation there, as there's been times, even Mila Kopp during her freshman year in a game against Bellarmine, she had a goal that was taken away because she was just outside of the attacking circle. The place that she usually sets up is the top of the key, so you always have to be careful with your feet. As Kent State trying to run right back at them, it's Agustina Florio working the tight corner, and Grainer knocks it away. Good work from Grainer being able to read that, and Risser knocks it out of play, so the Bobcats defense can regroup.
Good job there by Grainer, just being alert, not letting that one get into the middle just like that did there.
It is. Good job being able to kick that one away, and that ball goes out of play and back to the Flashes.
You can see Kent State's really trying to center the ball in the middle of the attack circle. They really want to get some stuff going in there. Traffic in front of the net, get Grainer off of her angle, and put some points on the board.
Good one-on-one win there from Kopp as we are in the 6th minute of the game, 1-1. Each team already being able to put up a goal as we're off to a very quick start. And there's a steal. Maria Cambrasol, who had a sister who played here as well a couple of years ago, being able to do her thing. As we see pairs of sisters all over the Mid-American Conference, Bodie and Wesley for the Bobcats. And then, of course, the Cambrasol sisters who also do great work for Kent State.
Scoring for Ohio, number 5, Mila Kopp.
Yeah, Mila Kopp officially gets the 2nd goal of the season.
Number 3, Noah Demeritz.
And Noah Demeritz picks up the assist. That is her 3rd one of the season, as now Mija Lichtenberg working towards the attacking circle. She finds Caitlin Whittle at the far side. Whittle fires a shot, and it's knocked up. Now Lichtenberg fires back on the counterattack and just misses to the left. As I'm going to lose my voice by the 10-minute mark here, as this game has been an absolute blast.
That was a great individual effort there by Lichtenberg. She took it almost 3/4 of the field by herself. She ended up finding Demeritz on the side of the field there, and a great opportunity there for Ohio. They're really starting to get their offense, some flow, some rhythm to their offense here early in this one.
Yeah, and Coach Baudy, she talked a lot about being able to just to connect those passes. If you can be able to string together consistent passes, working your way downfield and not have as many mistakes, it can really lead to more opportunities. And we've seen them so far today. A lot of really exciting chances already generated for this Bobcats team.
And that's what we see Kent State doing. They kind of get Ohio a little bit out of control defensively because their passing is so crisp. They're connecting on a lot of passes tape to tape as they're moving the ball pretty well here so far in this first quarter.
So another thing, Bobcats defense will have to remain strong, and we'll see if they can be able to show some improvement there. It's going to take a lot of aggression, but Kent State continues to fight into the attacking circle, trying to look for a pass inside, poked away, and the Bobcats will get the possession on the free hit.
One thing Kent State's been doing very well is just getting traffic in front of the net. The less action that Grainer can see, the more opportunities Kent State's going to have. They're doing a really good job of it here early in the first quarter.
They are, and they pick up the steal. Florio tried to work against Risser, and she's able to win back possession on the free hit. So Kent State will get a bit of a reset, and now they work their way out to the edge. Trying to tightrope the sideline was Leedy, and the ball is taken away, at least temporarily, but now it's going to end up being a free hit. So Golden Flashes with another golden opportunity yet again. In the 8th minute of the game, it's 1-1, and Kent State will try to go 2 for 2 on penalty corners.
Yeah, a lot of really good opportunities for Kent State and Ohio both early in this game. Moving the ball really well. Everyone's, quickly moving the ball. getting a lot of opportunities in transition. And penalty corners, of course, for Kent State. They cashed in on their first one. Let's see what they can do here.
So it'll be Daniel Ham who will be passing it in. She goes to the top of the key where a shot's going to be fired, and good work from Neelay Grainer being able to kick that ball away like a kickball player at recess. Love using that analogy every single game because she does it so consistently, but she's going to have to stay on her toes as Kent State has put a lot of pressure on her so far. 5 shots on goal. And now a missed pass will give Bobcats back the possession. They were looking for Katie Warstool, the junior from Collegeville, Pennsylvania, and she's unable to field it cleanly.
Yeah, that was a great stop there by Grainer, and it really does boost the confidence of this Ohio team, knowing that your goalie is locked in, knowing that she can make those big saves when you need her to. It can help defensively and offensively for the Bobcats.
So Kopp and Risser are able to take the ball away, at least temporarily, and they will make that permanently, at least for now, as Kopp tries to find somebody. There's been a lot of steals and interceptions thus far from Kent State.
Yeah, stepping into passing lanes has been a big thing for Kent State, keeping the possession with them. They're kind of stifling the Ohio Bobcat offense here.
Yep, another example is Wesley Littlefield tried to find Sasha DeKotla, and it just seems like long arms and being able to get the stick out there. Kent State seems to have a lot of players with really good height, and they're able to get in front of passing lanes very quickly.
Yeah, Ohio's had a really tough time working through the midfield. We'll see if they can clean that up here as we tick down here. Almost 5 minutes left to play in the first quarter.
So it's 1-1. Bobcats, they were able to match the Kent State goal in the 5th minute. And Mila Kopp ended up picking up her second goal of the season, usually known as the penalty stroke specialist, but also showcasing she can get it done on offense as Kent State dashes back into the attacking circle. Bodie Littlefield able to come up with the takeaway, and she tries to get it to DeKotla, and it goes off of the toe of a Kent State player. Free hit for the black and white.
Yeah, you can see on that opportunity, Madison Leedy was streaking down the middle of the field, just really opening up opportunities here for the Golden Flashes and trying to get Grainer a little bit uncomfortable as we see Bobcats with the ball now.
Yep, see another steal attempt. That's something that can't happen. That's Florio now with possession and now trying to get it back out to Leedy. Leedy being able to just get that one, losing the stick was a Bobcat. That was Mallory Lindsay providing the defense, and she was able to at least regroup, come back together, and now a deep pass, and now it'll be a run for it. Caitlin Whittle out in front of everyone. The goalie trying to get out there and knocking it away, and it was a very, very smart play from Cecile Fawn Ike, the goalkeeper, as it would have been a one-on-one scenario. She had to play aggressive.
Yeah, that's the second time in this game that Mila Kopp has looked for the long ball. Very clever plays by her. Of course, she has a lot of experience. She's been playing all season long, been putting up fantastic numbers, has a goal in this one, and she's really thinking through this game. She's making some clever plays out there.
Very much so. As we are in minute 11 of this opening quarter, Bobcats won, Golden Flashes won, as Whittle tried to save that one on the near side corner, unable to do so. So Kent State will get back possession, as so far it seems like the ball has stayed on the Ohio side of the field more often than not, but the Bobcats have been pretty efficient with their opportunities. That's the way the game has been kind of made up thus far, as there's a free ball in the middle of the field. Player losing a stick. Bodie Littlefield, though, with the ball, and she'll try to get it to Day Moretz. And then Kent State comes up with it.
And we'll see if Ohio can take some notes from Kent State. Kent State obviously forcing a lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy passes by Ohio. We'll see if they can take some notes on how the Golden Flashes are playing and maybe get some turnovers of their own.
And that's something Kent State does well. They're able to take advantage of being able to come up with steals, and they're also able to find teammates. Almost all of their shots that have been scored this year have come off of some sort of assist, and it just comes from elite passing, and there's a lot of players that are really responsible for that. One of those players, Victoria Tingitella, leads the team with 4 assists. Also, the player that scored earlier, Patricia Strunk, she has 3 assists on the year for the Golden Flashes.
Yeah, assists have been a big part of the game here for Kent State. Like you said, most of their goals have been assisted, which speaks to how crisp their passing is, and that's usually why they're able to put up such big numbers.
So Lichtenberg gets beat by Daniel Ham there, so Ham will have the free hit, and we'll restart play with 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter, 2 minutes 25 to be specific. Bobcats and Golden Flashes, mano y mano. It's a stalemate, 1-1.
Yeah, Ohio defense has really been under some pressure here early. Kent State, with like that crisp passing that you were talking about in those assists, and like the way that they're setting up their offense is really giving Ohio trouble early in the first quarter as we get under 2 minutes left to play.
So Combrasol will try to get it in, and there's a good job by Ohio being able to read the pass. Was the Bobcat Mallory Lindsay, who's getting a good amount of playing time today, as it'll be all hands on deck. And the freshman from Granville being able to come up with some action. Granville, Ohio has been quite a factory, at least in terms of Central Ohio schools, for talent for this Bobcat roster, as another Granville player, Sydney Super, just graduated from OU last year, as Golden Flashes are in the attacking circle once again, as the ladies in gold try to make something happen, and the Bobcats are able to stave them off, showcasing their defense to be impermeable early, and a pass from Dame Moretz to Whittle is unable to be received off of the leg. And then Kent State tried to go with a quick counterattack back, but the refs were like, nope, 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 you got to slow it down right here.
Yeah, that's Ohio working pretty well through the midfield there. Obviously looking for Whittle up the middle of the field. That's the person you want to get the ball to if you want to put points on the board.
So under a minute left to go in the first quarter, as we are in minute 15 of the game. Emily Risser on the near side, not able to get the most out of that pass. Kind of goes off of her stick. And now a great job being able to receive that pass on the sideline was Patricia Trunk, who already has a goal today. And now she's going to give her team another chance with about 30 seconds left. Can the Bobcats defense step up just for the needed time? And they do temporarily.
That was
up with it.
Really good play there by Kopp. Down the middle of the field about the far goal post was Daniel Ham and Jenna McCrudden. They were looking for that opportunity to try to get into the attack circle and catch Grainer off guard, but Kopp said no. It was a great play by her.
So a couple of seconds remain as the Bobcats try to get something going. They're unable to, and that will end this exciting first 15 minutes. 1 quarter up, 1 quarter down. Each team has a score. It was Kent State getting on the board first with a Patricia Strunk goal from the right side of the net. And then following it up, it was Mila Kopp from the top of the key of the attacking circle, tying things up in the 5th minute. It's 1-1 as we go into the second quarter. You're listening to Ohio Bobcat TV. Well, if you've heard of Tuesday night action, but how about a little bit of Friday matinee action as we have a battle between the Ohio Bobcats and Kent State Golden Flashes. The first quarter treated us well with a goal from either team, and we'll see what the second quarter has in store. Cedric Granger joined by Charlie James, as that first quarter was absolutely electric, and we'll see if any of these teams can be able to create separation here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that was a great first quarter for either team. Getting on the board early always helps. But we noticed Ohio a little bit sloppy with their passing. Kent State jumping a lot of passes, just being in the right place at the right time. And it's really given Ohio trouble there in the first quarter.
Yeah, and it's led directly to shots on goal for Kent State, but trying to start off the passing a little bit better is Caitlin Whittle working to the attacking circle, and it is taken away, but it was off of a toe or off of some part of a Kent State player, which will result in a penalty corner for the Bobcats. They were able to convert on the first. Can they convert on the second? That's the question, as they'll be doing this in front of a lot of alumni that are in the building today, at least 6 or 7 that I saw taking a picture with Rufus the Bobcat out here in front. And that's got to be great for these Bobcat players, the current players, to be able to have the support from the past players. I know some players on this team have had lots of connections, whether that be a sister that played or whether that be a mother who played in the case of Emily Risser.
Yeah, great to see so many alumni out here supporting the program as Ohio lines up for their second penalty corner. As you said, they cashed it on the first one. Let's see what they can do here.
So it'll be Desmaretz passing it in. Set up for Lichtenberg. Lichtenberg tries to shoot, and Desmaretz is there. That shot is scored. Noah Desmaretz with her first goal of the season, and her mom's in the building today to see her get her first goal of her sophomore year.
We talked about being in the right place at the right time. Desmaretz was there to pick up the loose change off of that penalty corner and cashed in 2-1 Bobcats.
So in the 17th minute of the game, it is Desmaretz getting on the board. I was just mentioning how she's on pace to match her assist total, as she had an assist earlier today, and she had 5 goals, 4 assists last year, and she's looking to be able to match that total or improve upon it. And now she's at 3 assists, 1 goal, so really working her way back towards those totals as we approach the halfway point of the season. And then also we got to give a shout out to Meincha Lichtenberg, who has her 4th assist of the season. And I mean, talk about a great season right now. 6 goals, 4 assists. Doesn't get much better than that for your freshman campaign.
Yeah, she's playing very well so far this season, and Ohio did a very good job there of getting traffic in front of the net. Like we said earlier, the more that Van Eyck cannot see is a better opportunity for the Bobcats, and Lichtenberg cashed in there on the rebound.
That's the best thing about penalty corners, is when you have a player that passes it in, you always have to have somebody prepared on the ricochet just in case. And that was the way that Desmaretz scored a lot of her goals last season. So to be able to see that happen once again, it is a great sight to see if you root for the green and white. As now Anouk Plan, who we expected to be out today, but she is able to come back in the play, which has got to be exciting for the Bobcats, as she has just jumped in here at the end of the first quarter, as the Bobcats look to be the hammer here in the second quarter.
Assisted by number
Yeah,
12,
Ohio really being
Meincha
able to get their offense back
Lichtenberg.
on pace. In the first quarter, a lot of the action was on the Ohio defensive side, but now we're seeing that kind of flip here early in the second.
So now with a 2-1 lead, Mila Kopp gets it out to Emily Risser on the near side, trying to get some clean passes until there. That's intercepted by the Flashes, and then taken right back is Desmarais, and the refs blow the whistle, so it'll be a free hit for the Golden Flashes. As I always say, pronunciations will always be a tricky thing. We've seen her name pronounced a couple of times by the PA, and we'll have to ask her mom in the building, the official one, as with 12 minutes left to go in the second quarter, Kent State tries to tie things up, and the Bobcats able to get the better of that one. Free hit.
Yeah, on that run up the field there, Florio picking off the pass, trying to go coast to coast. She's been really influential for the Kent State transition game, picking off passes, being in the right place at the right time, and using her speed to get up and down the field pretty well.
So Mila Kopp works it to the far side as the Bobcats can now try to slow it down, but a bad pass results in a free opportunity for Jenna McCruden. And now Neely Grainer is able to dive and knock it out of play, as that was a golden opportunity for McCruden. I mean, one-on-one in front of the net with an open space and an open path to the goal. And luckily, Grainer was just able to be one step better.
Yeah, McCrudden with a little how do you do there, and beating the Ohio defender. One-on-one opportunity, Grainer was equal to the task. Again, that's a huge confidence boost for Ohio. Knowing that your goalie is locked in and that she can make big saves when you need him to really helps Ohio out in this game.
She'll have to be locked in as the Bobcats have already matched their goal total. As look at Caitlin Whittle run in front of everyone, tries to keep it in play, and just unable to do so. As Kent State will have the free hit, but Bobcats, they fell on the road at Mellis Field 3-2 in double overtime last year. It was a 76-minute match, a very long one as, of course, the game 60 minutes with 10-minute overtime periods, and you go through 2 overtimes. If no one scored, it goes into shootouts.
Yeah, speaking of overtime, Kent State's had a lot of experience in overtime games this year. They have had one double overtime game against Indiana, which they ended up winning, and they had they're 1-1 in overtime games. They had a game-winning goal by Maya Sarah Beirut in that Indiana game, and Ohio has not been to an overtime game this year, but so Kent State has the advantage in that category for sure.
Yeah, Ohio's done a good job working against Sarah Beirut, as one of the storylines coming into this game was going to be the freshman battle between Lichtenberg and Sarah Beirut. Lichtenberg already making her presence known with a shot as well as an assist on the day. And right now the Bobcats have done a great job against Sarah Beirut. She has 3 goals, 4 assists on the season. The Bobcats want to take this one. They can't allow her to get to goal number 4.
Yeah, a few key statistics here defensively for Kent State. They have 15 goals allowed, 22 goals scored against them with a 2.75 goals against average. And Ohio is sitting right there at the team average for Kent State. So you got to wonder if they're looking to clean up their defensive play here, or the Golden Flashes.
Now, Desmarais with the steal, working back into the middle of it. She likes to do that circle back move to be able to create separations from defenders. And she's become a master of that, being able almost to box them out and then be able to run the circle into either the middle of the field or outside of the field, just going to the place where the people in goal just aren't.
Yeah, creating time and space is something that's really big for Ohio here as they try to work through the midfield and just stay away from Kent State's players and try to protect this lead.
Minute 21 of the match. 2-1 is the lead for the Bobcats, as we've seen a couple lead changes happen. Kent State had the lead at first, and then the Bobcats took the lead back here in the second quarter as Ohio tries to string together some good passes. Nuke Plan back to Kopp. And Ohio not going to have to show any urgency here. Still a long time to go, though, as a pass that was not fielded cleanly from Littlefield, but Whittle will try to fight for it. It's a little bit of a scrum, and it looks like it'll be a free hit for the Flashes. So we'll see what the blue and gold have in store as Wesley Littlefield gets her stick up there, taking back possession. Now she'll try to get it out to Lichtenberg, a few paces in front of her, out of play. Kent State ball.
Yeah, you see Ohio really just taking their time out here on their half of the midfield line, just trying to slow the game down, take their time, and kind of frustrate Kent State, playing a little game of keep away here with this 2-1 lead that they have.
So 6 shots on goal for Kent State, 3 shots on goal for the Bobcats in total. But the Bobcats, they are 2 for 3 on their shots on goal. As for Kent State, 1 and 6, and that's been the difference so far today. Each goalie, though, has had to be very aggressive, as there's been multiple situations where there have been one-on-ones, and goalies have had to be able to stand strong in those situations. And they have been up to the task, as Caitlin Whittle will try to work her way back onto the Kent State side of the field. She does, being able to drop it off to Littlefield, who makes her stance, goes back to Risser, Kopp, and Plan on the defensive side.
Yeah, he talked about shots. That's the Kent State being outshot is a kind of a trend that we're seeing this season. They've been outshot on the year 99 to 123. So they're definitely used to playing some defensive field hockey. And Van Eyck has been very busy this year with all the shots on goal that they've faced.
Yeah, and it goes to show when you play really tricky teams that can score goals in bunches, it can really skew the stats a bit. When you see their schedule, they played number 14 Liberty. Liberty, they put up some goals. They had an 11-0 win over Queens earlier this year, which is a team that the Bobcats matched up against, and they beat Kent State 9-0 in that game. So the team like Liberty, they're able to kind of skew those statistics in unfavorable ways for Kent State. And Liberty, they're one of the most prolific scoring teams, not only just in their conference, but also in the nation. They have over 40 goals scored this season. So you look at the national picture, Liberty will definitely be a team to watch, as we'll definitely think about the NCAA tournament. There's a long way to go before that. But the best thing for Mid-American Conference teams, if you can win your conference, you go to the NCAA tournament. And that is the goal for both of these two squads who were unable to do so last year, despite both making the Mid-American Conference tournament.
Yeah, you talked about Liberty. That's just part of Kent State's aggressive scheduling. Liberty, they got teams like Virginia, teams like Penn State and Ohio State on their schedule that really prepare them for these MAC games.
It sure does. It's also nice that the Bobcats have implemented some of that into their scheduling as well, as they're about to face one of their difficult challenges, facing off not only against the Buckeyes of Ohio State, who are ranked number 24 in the country, but also the Michigan State Spartans, who are used to playing a tricky Big Ten schedule. Spartans will be our next game at home, and this will be live on Ohio Bobcat TV at 2 o'clock. Actually, no, check that, 12 o'clock on Sunday with me and my friend Ethan Sargent on that call, as we are 25 minutes into the match, 2-1, Bobcats in front of Kent State.
Yeah, you see there's a little bit of a trend here with Kent State offensively, working the ball to either side of the goal and just trying to find somebody in the middle of the attack circle there. Ohio has obviously recognized that trend and is putting people in place to stop it.
So here comes Kent State trying to set something up, as it feels like OU has dominated this quarter thus far. You don't see a lot of those opportunities where Kent State's just driving into the attacking circle time after time, as Bodie Littlefield was in a little bit of a battle there, and her toughness is rewarded with the free hit for the Bobcats. She had a tough task of going against Patricia Strunk, sophomore against freshman, sophomore able to come out on top.
Yeah, you see Kent State there looking for some transitional passing. They've done really well so far in this game, connecting on passes, whether it be long or short, but you see they're really trying to push the pace of this game and take the lead back, or at least tie it up.
So Conversol will have the free hit from the near sideline, as there's 4 minutes, 23 seconds left to go in the second quarter. They're able to chip it just over the stick of Whittle. Now Damaretz picks up the ball. She's going to try to find a Kotla, and it's taken away. Good way to be active on the stick by Kent State. And now a solid pass there, unable to be fielded cleanly. Littlefield with the takeaway, trying to maintain possession. And then Caitlin Whittle is boxed out by Sombra Cole.
Yeah, you see Kent State do that again, just working towards the near corner here and looking for some forwards in the middle of the attack circle, trying to get Grainer off of her angle and put one in the back of the net to tie it up. Ohio is doing a very good job at deflecting those passes, playing solid defense in the corners, and forcing turnovers by Kent State.
And desperation is definitely not desperation time per se just yet, but you never want to be down at halftime. So Kent State will try to do whatever they can to be able to push to try to tie things up or even take the lead back in this final 3.5 minutes. As for the Bobcats, obviously you want to try to put up another goal to give yourself a little bit more cushion, but at the very least just go into the half with the lead. That would mean the world for this team, but it'll just come down to being able to finish in those final quarters, and if the home field can continue to play a big factor for the Cats. 3-0, like you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Charlie, and it's been great to have so many fans at Pruitt Field. They've been averaging well over 100 people per game.
Yeah, there must be something in the water here. People are very excited about Ohio field hockey, and it seems to be paying off. 3-0 at home, and they obviously have the lead here against Kent State, which is huge, huge for confidence going forward in this game.
Oh, and that's a dangerous hit situation. That's going to go against Kent State. Whenever the ball is high like that into a group of players, any sort of amalgamate of players, that's going to result in a dangerous hit. So free hit for the Bobcats, and they'll be able to reset. No penalties assessed there, as there's an example of a legal way of skying the ball.
Looking for Whittle down the field there. That was a heads-up play there by Kopp.
And now a great pass on the sideline, but unable to be fielded cleanly, and that's something that's been a trend thus far today. Again, it's not easy with field hockey where you're only allowed to use one side of the stick and the ball's moving at such a quick velocity to be able to maintain possession of it. and especially make those passes. But it's got to be difficult for each coaching staff to watch a couple of opportunities go by the wayside. Now it's Takatla, freshman who's had a great season so far with 2 goals and an assist. Working their way back into the middle of the field. Now it's Desmarais working past Littlefield. Littlefield tried to be able to streak past the defender, and she does temporarily. Now off of the stick, free hit for the Cats.
Yeah, Ohio's kind of getting back to their pace that they showed early in the second corner, playing a little bit of keep away, slowing down the pace, and getting the opportunities that they want.
So now it's Risser and Kopp as there's a minute and 15 seconds left to go in the quarter. Minute number 29, 2-1 is the lead for the Bobcats, and they'll look to expand that as they hear the OU, oh yeah chants from their crowd. But now Kent State will have a running start as they'll have a little bit of a break. It'll be Mila Kopp working against Larissa Balichek. And now Balichek tries to go to the attacking circle. Good defense there from Plan, just being able to get her stick down there and making sure no pass can go past her.
Yeah, Balichek and Florio are really working well together here in this first half, putting up some great opportunities for the Golden Flashes.
And OU might have thought they may have came up with a steal, but instead it's a free hit for the Golden Flashes, rocking their all gold uniforms. And there's a good defensive play for the Bobcats. They have to hold on for 28 seconds. Kent State, though, is going to give them all they can handle in this last minute of the first half. And they'll have to hurry as Kent State's going to have to make some actions towards the net, and they're able to do so. And it's into a massive group of players, and Kent State is rewarded. It's going to be a penalty corner. So with 15 seconds left, this is one of those make or break moments in this game, Charlie. Will the Bobcats yield to this penalty corner and allow the goal and allow it to be tied up going into half? Or will the Bobcats be able to put together one last defensive effort for the half and stave off Kent State? That's the question.
They were able to provide some pretty solid defense on the last Kent State penalty corner. But as we talked about earlier, Kent State has been very efficient on these penalty corners, being able to put the ball in the back of the net. And that's, of course, how they got their first goal earlier in the first quarter. I think that was about 3 minutes in. We'll see what Ohio can do here.
So here comes the penalty corner for Kent State. Third one of the day. They're going to go to the top of the key. Now working to the wing, back to the key, and Grainer's able to get in front of it, and no goal is scored. And with 4 seconds left to go, make that 2 seconds, they're going to stop the clock, and they'll set up once again as it looks like the refs are going to have a little conversation with Ohio as it'll be another penalty a corner, but there's only 2 seconds remaining, so Kent State, as soon as they pass that in, they're going to have to shoot.
Yeah, that was some excellent give and go action there by Kent State in that penalty corner, in tight with a lot of traffic in front of the net, working the ball around inside the attack circle. But Grainer was just equal to the task when it got in tight.
So Kent State with their 4th penalty corner of the day. They're 1 for 3, trying to go 2-4-4. 2-1. Last second shot knocked away from Grainer. Still continuing the action until the play is stopped. And the Bobcats come up with a huge play. And maybe this isn't going to show up on the stat sheet, but being able to come up with a stop, not only against 1 penalty corner, Charlie, but 2 penalty corners in the last 15 seconds and not allowing a goal, that's huge.
Yeah, great defensive effort there from Ohio. I believe that no one has recognized that the clock has expired. Yeah. So we're going to have another penalty corner. Regardless of the fact that there's zeros on the clock.
It is. I think the penalty might have happened a little bit before the clock ran out, I think, according to the official clock on the field. So Bobcats going to have to try to yield the 5th one. There's the shot, and right next to the net, and it is
off the post.
No goal, as I thought that was hitting the back of the goal. Good eye there to see that it went off of the post. And now the Bobcats can be able to breathe a sigh of relief, as I was thinking that was already over. And then they set up for another penalty corner. We saw zeros on the clock, and Ohio able to just stave it off.
Yeah, that's when we just kind of shrug your shoulders and smile because 3 penalty corners in a row, 3 saves from Grainer. Excellent defensive effort there, in tight. She's equal to the task and keeps this a 2-1 game in favor of Ohio.
So this has been one game full of so much action. We're only 2 quarters in. There's still 2 quarters ahead. Stay with us on Ohio Bobcat TV.
Welcome back to Pruitt Field here on the campus of Ohio University. After an exciting first half of field hockey action, we're back with the second half. It's the Ohio Bobcats and the Kent State Golden Flashes. Your score, Ohio 2, Kent State 1. My name is Charlie James, joined with Cedric Rayner. Cedric, what did you see in that first half?
Well, the Bobcats were able to really come up with the counterattack when they needed it. When you've lost to a team this many years straight and they score first on you, it can be very easy to have the mentality, oh, here we go again. It's just like the year before and the year before that. But it feels like this Bobcat team, they're full of a lot of new players that are having their first ever match against Kent State. It just looks like they're in here with a fresh mentality, nothing to lose, here at home, and now have the lead. They're just 30 minutes away. We'll see what this Bobcats team is made of right here. There's a lot on the line, of course, Charlie. If the Ohio can pull off this win, they will move to second place in the Mid-American Conference. And, of course, it's critical to stay in that top four. Top four is what gets you into the MAC tournament. And if you win the MAC tournament, you go to the NCAA tournament.
Obviously, a lot on the line, as you said. That ball goes out of play, and Ohio will restart things on the far sideline, playing it back to Kopp there. We saw this a lot in the first half. Ohio just kind of playing keep away, trying to protect their lead, and they've been doing a pretty good job of it so far.
They have done it, but they're going to have to continue to be strong at it. And it's difficult when you have a lead because you're like, hey, do we want to keep this lead or do we just want to keep our pressure up and be able to potentially yield fast break goals? But also on the other end of the spectrum, we can put them out of the game with a 2-goal lead. It's that sort of balance that's really difficult. And that comes down to coaching. And we'll see what Coach Johnstone and Coach Body have for this Ohio team, especially having a lead. And then it'll also be a great test for a lot of these younger players. And I'm sure they're going to be thankful to have a couple of seniors out there in Wesley Littlefield and Caitlin Whittle to be able to help in this sort of situation.
Whittle was trying to play that ball down. It goes out of play. Kent State will restart things. It's Danielle Ham here on the near side. Ball is played back in the Kent State end of the field. Long pass there, intercepted. That was Anouk Pleen on that one. And through the middle of the field there is Ohio on the far side. A little give-and-go action there. And Ohio settling things down offensively in the far corner. That ball will go out of play to Ohio.
It was Sasha DeKotla being able to make some noise. And what I counted there on that last series of events, Charlie, that was 5 passes connected in a row. And I think that's something that Coach Johnstone probably was preaching to her team after how a couple of missed passes really hurt them in the first couple of quarters. Arguably, Kent State might not even have a goal today if it wasn't for some missed passes.
And that ball will roll out of play. Kent State will restart things here. 12:42 here remaining in the third quarter. Your score, Ohio 2, Kent State 1. On the near side, working the ball around is Kent State looking for an opening. That's Iris Becker with the ball now. Really just trying to find an opportunity here as Kent State. That ball is going to roll out of play, and Ohio will restart things.
Yeah, I love the defensive front.
Marla Call here on the near side. And that pass is intercepted by Kent State. A lot of that in the first half. And Kent State player will go down. That was Marla Call going down on top of Danielle Ham. And Kent State will restart things in their own end.
Yeah, it looked like they just kind of got tangled up a little bit. That'll happen when you're running next to somebody and your legs can get tangled up on occasion.
In the middle of the field now, whistle will blow. Kent State's going to keep possession. Number 25, Larissa Balichek there in the middle of the field. On the far sideline now was Kent State with the ball. Some crisp passing by the Golden Flashes. Moving pretty quickly into the attack circle. Looking in front, good stop there by Grainer. She goes down to make a good play. And Kent State will keep possession.
And Grainer's had herself a really big game, and so far in MAC play, they're going to need Grainer to step up in every single game. She had 11 saves against 18 shots against her in that game against Longwood, so she was very busy in that big 3-2 victory for the Bobcats, and they'll need her to be strong again today, as it won't just be up to her, it'll also be up to the defenders also to make sure that there aren't any open looks for Kent State.
Ohio now with the ball after that Kent State possession. On the near sideline. This is Anouk Pleen over here. And Ohio really working the ball around, trying to find an opportunity. Working for the midfield.
Yep.
And over on the far side, that ball will roll out of play to Kent State.
So here comes the challenge, Charlie. It's the Bobcats. They've been able to stifle some of the key players on this team, from Maya Sarah-Byrus, also Sydney Washburn, who burnt the Bobcats last year with 2 goals. We have not called either of their names thus far today, which really speaks to how solid the defense has been, and potentially film watching as well. We know that Ohio likes to watch film on the opponents that they play, and they sometimes maybe watch a little bit of last year's film as well. And being able to do that type of research to kind of know what players that you need to play, especially solid defense on, has seemed to help them.
Yeah, Ohio definitely putting a lot of preparation into this game. Like when MAC play comes around, you got to be ready to go, as Kent State will restart things on the far sideline. Playing it back now. That's Danielle Ham onto the Ohio side of the field. That pass is intercepted by the Bobcats and across the midfield line. Kent State will get the ball back, and they are in business here on the far sideline over there. Kent State now working around the attack circle, trying to get things going down towards the end line. And in the attack circle, there's some traffic in front of the net, and we're going to have what looks like a penalty corner for Kent State. Kent State cashed in on a penalty corner early in the game, but at the end of the first half, Ohio came up with 3 amazing stops on 3 consecutive penalty corners. Even though the last one came with time expired, Ohio definitely put up some solid defense and kept their lead.
Yeah, it'll be key once again for Ohio to be able to stave off penalty corners. They've had lots of practice against this throughout the year, but today they've had to feel that pressure, and they'll be up again to the defense and of Grainer. And it's really tough as a goalkeeper to kind of figure out how much aggression should I put into being able to stop it. Should I be able to go up there and get it, or will I have to be back on my heels to wait for it to come to you?
Kent State restart things, and that's a good stop there by Grainer, but it will find its way into the back of the net for Kent State. Bouncing over Grainer and behind the Bobcat defense, and Kent State ties this one at 2.
Yeah, that was Agustina Florio, who at least had the initial shot. I'm not sure if there was a ricochet from her angle, but for now it looked like that Florio was involved in that goal in some capacity. And her and Balichick, as well as Patricia, have been like the key players around the goal for Kent State, and she's able to find the net on that one.
So Kent State ties it up on their 5th penalty corner of the game. And Kent State has possession of the ball now. That pass will roll all the way down the field. Kopp will let it go. And out of play. Agustina Florio will get credit for that goal. And Kopp's going to get things going back here for the Bobcats. Maybe that could be a sign that the keep away strategy for the Bobcats just might not do it and keep Kent State out of this game.
It is also want to note on that goal, that is a very rare unassisted goal. It's going to go down as an unassisted goal for Kent State for Florio. And this is a team that had 22 assists to 15 goals coming into this game. And you see that and you're like, how could they have more assists than goals? I remember, Charlie, when you're looking through the stats, that's what came to mind.
Yeah.
But when you have situations where even 1 or 2 people are able to ricochet it and get into a perfect spot for the third person, both people get credited with the assist. So very rare to see that happen, but Kent State needed it.
Kopp there on the far side will move the ball for Ohio. Kent State definitely applying more pressure than they did in the second quarter, and Ohio is unable to get it across the midfield line. The whistle will blow, and Ohio will keep possession. Like you said, assists are definitely the name of the game here for Kent State. That ball is flicked across the midfield line, and Whittle alongside Lichtenberg are making a run forward. Into the attack circle goes Lichtenberg. Van Eyck comes out. Lichtenberg still with possession. Right around the attack circle, it's a good shot on goal by Lichtenberg, and Van Eyck is equal to the task, making a stop there. 12 shots on goal for Ohio, most of them coming in the first half. That's the first shot for Ohio here in the second half. Kent State with the ball now. That pass is blocked by Lichtenberg. Whittle now with the ball into the attack circle, and the whistle will blow. Kent State will have the ball. That was Maddie Coombe trying to make something out of nothing there, and Kent State will get things going. Ohio applying a little bit of pressure of their own here. Let's see if they can equal the scoring total for Kent State in this second half. On the far sideline, Kent State with the ball, working well. And that one will roll up the far sideline, not out of play, kept in. And Ohio applying some pressure, not allowing Kent State to get over the midfield line like they'd like to. Over the midfield line, Kent State now, they have numbers going the other way. On the near side, and that's Caitlin Holland. Flicked in and off of Emma Long. And Ohio will get possession. That was a good run there by Kent State. Good job by Long being in the right place to knock that pass down. Ohio will restart things. This is Kopp who's going to send it the length of the field and out of play. So Kent State will restart things. I believe that was just a strategy there by Kopp just to get the ball out of harm's way and to maybe give Ohio's defense a little bit of rest.
Yeah, it also allows you to get some substitutions into the game as a couple of new Ohio players jumped into the game. So that could be a solid strategy to get your defense back off of its heels. But it looks like Kent State has a quick counterattack. Look at that speed.
Kent State moving very well here in the second half. And all alone. Great save there by Grainer. One-on-one. And she keeps it a tie game.
That was a big-time play. Jenna McCrudden, she is known to be very efficient with her shots on goal. She only has 5 shots on goal on the season, now 6, and she has 3 goals on that. So she's a player that when she gets her opportunities, she usually scores, but not today, says Nile Grainer.
Grainer coming up big, making her first save of the second half there. Of course, that penalty corner ended up beating her, just kind of bouncing over her as she went down to save it. But a great save there by Grainer on McCrudden. And Kent State on the far sideline is going to restart things. They will play it back towards the midfield. This is Danielle Ham now with the ball, who's going to send it into the attack circle. Good defense there by OU. Ball still in the attack circle, came down. That is Bodie Littlefield now with the ball, and she will send it. Dakota there with a clever play to keep it in. And Ohio applying a little bit of pressure here on Kent State. And the whistle will blow. Kent State will keep possession. There's a great job there by Sasha Dakota to keep that pass from Bodie Littlefield from going out of bounds and gave Ohio numbers going the other way.
Yeah, a couple of great plays by the underclassmen. Littlefield showcased some really good toughness in there to be able to box out the offensive player from Kent State and come up with the ball. Now we see Whittle with a defensive play of her own.
Whittle on the far sideline still with the ball now. That ball will not go out of play. Picked up by Kent State and slapped into the attack circle. It's blocked down by an Ohio defender. Still with the ball now is Kent State with a little bit of room to run in the attack circle. And the whistle will blow, and it looks like we're going to have another penalty corner for Kent State.
Yeah, they've been pretty impressive on their penalty corners so far. As we look at the scoreboard right now, you see the shots on goal, 13 for Kent State, only 4 for the Bobcats. And these odd quarters have been especially kind to Kent State in terms of generating opportunities, as they've had a lot of their shots on goal come in the first quarter as well as in the third quarter. And that'll be up to the Bobcats defense to be able to come up with a much-needed stop. They're going to have to keep Kent State at 2, in my opinion, if they want to give themselves a good chance to win.
This is Larissa Balachek, who will send it in for the Golden Flashes. Kent State, of course, cashing in on their last penalty corner opportunity. Let's see what they can do here. Balachek will play it into the attack circle. And unable to handle it there is Kent State. Ball will come out of the attack circle, right back in, though. Kent State battling for it. Hack and whack time in front of the net. Grainer goes down, not in, somehow stayed out. That was Whittle behind Grainer, and it somehow stayed out of the net. Unbelievable effort there from Whittle. And this game is tied.
Yep, that is a defensive save example. It's a very rare play in field hockey where a player comes up with a save, and it doesn't happen super often, maybe once or twice a season, and we just saw it in front of our eyes from the senior, Caitlin Whittle, putting her body on the line to save the team.
Caitlin Whittle, who's normally known for her offensive expertise, has probably what was the best defensive play of the day so far for Ohio. As that ball's poked out of play, Ohio will keep possession. And, so excellent job there by Whittle keeping this game tied.
Yeah, beautiful diving attempt there, too. She was just able to get throughout the front plane of the net. It was hard to be able to cross that line of the goal when she was over there, so good work. And, again, that gives the Bobcats an opportunity to try to turn it around here on the offensive end.
Whittle on the run with Sasha Dakota. She's into the attack circle. The whistle will blow, and we have a penalty corner coming for Ohio. Ohio obviously able to convert on one penalty corner today so far. That's how they got their second goal.
Yeah, actually both goals. Yeah.
Both goals off of penalty corners, actually. Excuse me.
Yeah, they got the first one from Mila Kopp, top of the key. So they ended up going to that on their first attempt. And then also on a later attempt, they went to Lichtenberg on the right wing, and she ended up having a shot that ricocheted off of the goalie, Fawn Ike. And then Noah Desmarais was right there to be able to put that one in. So see what the Bobcats draw up.
Desmarais will get things going here for Ohio. See what Kent State can do defensively. Ohio only with 4 shots on goal. Let's see if they can tally a 5th one here. Desmarais plays it in the attack circle. A shot by Kopp is blocked there by Kent State. Back in the attack circle. Shot on goal. Good save there by Van Eyck. And we got another penalty corner coming up for Ohio as the ball is sent down the field by what looks to be a frustrated Kent State player. And Van Eyck, it was definitely tested on that penalty corner by Ohio.
It was impressive from Bella Carpenter on the defensive end. She knew what happened with Mila Kopp scoring the goal earlier in the game. So this time, instead of waiting for Kopp to take the shot, she went up there to block it herself. But Lichtenberg was able to take care of that ricochet, be able to turn around, fire a shot, and then Anouk Plan ultimately was able to force the penalty corner. So we'll see what Ohio draws up here. They went to Kopp the first time. We'll see if they try to go to the near side wing or maybe the far side corner or wing to Decatla, Whittle, or maybe Call.
Desmarais will get things going here for Ohio. A penalty corner. Out to Kopp again. The shot does get through. Whittle there battling for it in the attack circle. Whistle will blow. Kent State will end up with a free hit. A little bit more chaotic sequence of events there for Ohio. Kent State with some solid defense, able to stave off the Bobcats' attack.
Much needed from the Golden Flashes defense as, for lack of a better term, I'm sure their lives flashed in front of their eyes on a couple of those attempts, but they live to fight another day and potentially another quarter, but that pass could hurt them.
That pass bounced off the stick there of Alex Sacker, the junior defender, and into the whistle will blow. Ohio will keep possession. That's Bodie Littlefield with the ball now, looking for somebody. And playing it back now is Ohio, looking to get things going here down the near sideline. That's Anouk Pleen. That ball's taken away. Kent State will end up with a free hit there. Anouk Pleen taking the ball down the near sideline. Kent State with some solid defense as we approach 1 minute remaining here in the third quarter. Your score, Ohio 2, Kent State 2. Couple very good opportunities recently for Ohio with some unsuccessful penalty corners, and the ball will stay alive and will go out of play. That's Desmarais there over on the far sideline.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see a free hit there for Ohio as the ball ended up hitting off of a Kent State player's face, and if it hits anywhere aside from the stick, that's always a free hit for the opposing team.
Bodie Littlefield gets it to Desmarais across the midfield line. Desmarais runs out of options and plays it back. Looking for somebody there. There's Kopp on the Ohio side of the field. There's Desmarais on the far side. Excuse me, that was Lichtenberg on the far side. Ball will go out of play, and Ohio will have it. 30 seconds left in this third quarter. An exciting third quarter. Kent State equaling the score 2-2. As we look ahead to the fourth quarter, there's Lichtenberg with this nice play. Sasha Decotla right there in the middle. Went underneath the foot of Van Eyck. That was a golden opportunity. Great play there by Lichtenberg. With some clever stick handling, finds the attack circle. Sasha Decotla was just unable to get a stick on it. And 5 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Kent State will try to send it the length of the field. It's cut off, and that does it for the third quarter. 3 quarters down, 1 remaining. Kent State ties it up at 2. You are watching Ohio Field Hockey on Ohio Bobcat TV. Welcome back to Pruitt Field on the campus of Ohio University. It's fourth quarter in this field hockey matchup, between Kent State and Ohio. Kent State in the third quarter tied it up at 2, and we've been sitting here for quite a bit. Ohio with 2 goals. They've had some very nice offensive opportunities with penalty corners and such, but unable to cash in. It's still a 2-2 game.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind that each of these two teams are in it to win it right now. This is a big matchup in determining who's going to be in that top 4 in the Mid-American Conference. Can OU do it?
Lichtenberg now with the ball with Whittle and Dakotla. Whistle will blow. Ohio will have a free hit. Lichtenberg will get it over here on the near sideline. That's Marla Call. And Ohio will turn it over. That was a good defense there by Kent State. And, Ohio will still keep possession.
Yeah, knocking out a play, good speed from Kent State. And sometimes all that is needed is just to be able to slow down the momentum a little bit to get all 10 of your defenders back there to help your goalie.
Circle, and she scores! Lichtenberg! Unbelievable play there. Anouk Pleen sends it into the attack circle, into the waiting stick of Lichtenberg, and it's 3-2 Ohio.
Just when Ohio needed a goal, who else but Lichtenberg coming through in the clutch? She's had a lot of game-winning goals this season as we go through the stats and we look what Lichtenberg has done this season. Out of her 6 goals, 4 of them have been game-winning goals, which showcases she has that clutch gene. And every game you've called, Charlie, she's been able to hit some big-time goals. Actually, she's kind of going after a total from her coach, Louisa Bodie, who also had a lot of those types of goals throughout her career. One of the things that Bodie did really well at UConn, she was able to come up with a lot of game-winning goals. So we'll see if Lichtenberg can do a little bit of that in her career more and more. But that's 5. So they're going to give Marla Call the assist there. So big time for the Bobcats, big time.
Yeah, huge goal there by Lichtenberg. Ohio will restart things, trying to keep the ball in their own end, looking for an outlet there. Slap down the field. That pass was intended for Sasha Dakotla, but it is unable to get there. And Ohio will get the free hit. Bodie Littlefield now with the ball. Littlefield gets it to Marla Call, who's working on the near sideline. Looking for Sasha Dakotla. The ball does find its way through, but it will roll out of play to Ohio. Marla Call will get the free hit with Lichtenberg in the corner and Dakotla on the top of the attack circle. Bodie Littlefield will have the ball, and it looks like Ohio's ready and willing to just slow things down here and keep the ball on Kent State's half of the field. They do need to be careful because with the sloppy passing that they showed in the first half, could be an issue.
Indeed. Lichtenberg now with her 7th goal of the season, and when it comes to goals in clutch time, she just one away from being able to tie up Coach Bodie and what she did at UConn.
Great play there on the far sideline by Kent State, keeping the ball in play. And Kent State will be rewarded with a free hit. As we get things restarted here, that's Emma Seeger on the far side, and that ball will roll out of play. Kent State looking for those home run passes. They've just been unable to connect so far. As Kopp will get it over here on the near sideline, that's Bodie Littlefield. Some pressure now by Kent State in the middle of the field. It's a great job there by Marla Call to keep the ball away from Kent State and have Ohio keep possession.
It's much needed, remaining tough in there. Whether you have 2 or 3 defenders on you, you just got to figure out ways to be able to maintain possession. 3 straight passes for Ohio.
Marla Call up to Whittle. Whittle has that ball taken off of her stick, but Marla Call restarts things. Ohio keeps possession. On the far side there, that's Maggie Lawrence. Whittle looking to get a shot on goal. It rolls off of her stick the wrong way, and Kent State will have it, and they will also have a free touch. And Kent State will keep possession as Whittle applying some pressure there on Kent State's half of the field. They've really been unable to get anything going in transition, has Kent State in the second half. Ohio has definitely figured something out as that pass is tipped around. Kopp loses her stick, and Ohio will have the ball because of that.
It's going to be interesting to see Ohio's philosophy the rest of this way, Charlie. Is it going to be more of an aggressive philosophy, let's put this game away right now, or is it going to be more on their heels and let's play defense the rest of the way?
That pass is picked off by Sarah Beirut, and that will be Sarah Beirut that ends up going down for Kent State. They will get a free hit because of that on the far sidelines. Kent State now, there's Sasha Dakota applying some pressure there. Kent State unable to really get anything going offensively as of late after that penalty corner that resulted in their second goal of the game. Really unable to get anything going. As I say that, it's into the attack circle, and Kent State will have the ball. There's Sarah Beirut with the free hit. Kent State now into the attack circle. Whittle applying some very solid defense there. Lucy Davis will not be able to pick up the ball because of a penalty corner that's been awarded to Kent State. Kent State's been very efficient on penalty corners, as we mentioned earlier, not only in this game but throughout the season. 51 penalty corners going into this game. I believe this is their 8th one of the day. And on top of that, tallying 14 shots. Although they're used to being outshot so far this season, that's not the case here today.
It is. And, on paper, it's about as even as it gets, Charlie. I mean, each team has 15 goals apiece coming into this matchup. So both teams kind of score around the same level. And most of the time, those happen because you generate a similar amount of shots.
Looks like Sydney Washburn gets a green going there for Kent State. And that pass is tipped by Whittle. Great defensive play there by her. And Ohio saves off another penalty corner by Kent State. Kent State will have the ball. Sarah Beirut will get things going here for the Golden Flashes. On the near sideline, that's Danielle Ham playing some catch there with Iris Becker. Working the ball around is Kent State. Into the attack circle go the Golden Flashes. Looking for someone in front of the net. There's nobody home. Whittle comes up with the loose ball. And Whittle tried to slap it down the field. I believe it went off the hand of number 25. That's Larissa Balachek. As I was reading through these names, I almost wanted to call her Larissa Belichick.
Belichick, yeah. Know
Belichick.
that name.
And the whistle will blow, and it looks like Kent State has another penalty corner. And a lot of very good opportunities, a lot of golden opportunities coming here for Kent State. 15 shots on goal in this fourth quarter. And we'll see just what they can do here with another penalty corner opportunity.
It is. And the thing with that, too, Charlie, is that allows the Kent State to be able to come together, be able to kind of calm their nerves, let the leaders be able to get everybody calmed down and know that they're still in this game with plenty of time left, 9 minutes as we are in minute 51.
Danielle Ham throws it in the attack circle for Kent State. Some shifty passing for Kent State. Shot, what a save there by Grainer. Grainer going down. Kent State tried to beat her low. Grainer was equal to the task, and Ohio keeps their 3-2 lead.
But Kent State, they're not giving up the pressure. They're going to continue to fight inside, and they do it again. They've reached double digits for their penalty corners.
Yeah, Kent State just won't go away. As you see, Grainer there being congratulated by with that big save by some of her teammates. Kent State playing some very persistent offense. And they will set up for another penalty corner. And I believe that's Sarah Beirut over there that will get things going for Kent State. She sends it into the penalty circle, and it gets underneath the stick of Balachek. Into the attack circle, down is Grainer. Hack and whack time in front. Ball is cleared, and Ohio comes up with it. Excellent play. There's Lucy Davis here on the near sideline. Ohio wants to run. Lucy Davis pump fakes, I guess. And the whistle will blow. And I believe we have a penalty on Kent State.
Yep, and I believe that'll send a player off of the field. So Kent State will be a player down. The penalty goes against Danielle Ham. And that's one of their key passers. She has 3 assists on the season. So that's a huge loss, although temporary here for Kent State.
Danielle Ham goes off. Ohio with a man-up opportunity here, and we'll see what they can do with it as we approach 7 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter. Passing back and forth between Kopp, Anouk Pleen, and Bodie Littlefield. Kent State seems very content to just let Ohio burn off this penalty for them.
Yeah, they'd still have around 5 or 6 minutes left when the penalty is up. So if they can be able to take out the time, they're willing to put all their eggs in that basket for the last 5 minutes of the match.
Kopp there on the far sideline, just keeping the ball in possession. Kent State decides to apply some pressure. Nothing doing there for the Golden Flashes. Sarah Barrows picks off that pass that was intended for Lucy Davis. The ball will roll out of play to Ohio, I believe. No, excuse me, Kent State. It's Alex Sacker getting things re-going here for the Golden Flashes. Lucy Davis put her stick in the way. Whistle blows. Kent State with a free hit. They send it the length of the field, and
yep, it's outside the attacking circle.
Outside the attacking
circle.
circle. I was going to say. Kopp gets things going here for Ohio as we approach 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in this game. Some pressure finally being applied there by the Golden Flashes.
Yep. And Coach Luis Abadi said that this year has to be the year, and it all starts with stringing together those passes. And Ohio's going to be tested more than any time in this game right now. Can they connect on their passes?
Bodie Littlefield playing the ball here on the near sideline. That's over to Anouk Pleen. And that ball will roll over the stick of Kent State's number 12. That's Caitlin Holland. Pass was intended for Lichtenberg. Unable to connect there. And Kent State will have the ball as we tick under 6 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Ohio 3, Kent State 2. Pass intercepted by Bodie Littlefield. Through the middle of the field there goes Balichek. And she loses her stick. Ball will roll out of play to Ohio.
Yeah, just needed a little bit more touch, but with the field, of course, being watered in the way that it does, it makes the ball move super quick on there. So you have to really be almost a light tap to be able to get that perfect amount of touch on those passes.
Ball played down there. That's Maria Camber-Soler on the far side. Intercepted there by Sasha DeCola. The whistle will blow. Kent State will have a free hit. Sarah Beirut gives the ball up to Camber-Soler, and the Golden Flashes are in business on the far sideline. Kent State will watch that ball roll out of bounds. They will keep possession with the Golden Flashes, and I believe that penalty has expired.
Yep, they are now with a full 11 out there, which is what Kent State's been waiting for. This is their last push, the last 5 minutes of the match. They have all their players, and now they're able to generate a penalty.
Yeah, that was Camber-Soler with the ball, and it looks like we got another Kent State penalty corner. That is, I want to say 6 in this fourth quarter alone, honestly. So they've been very good about generating penalties and generating opportunities for themselves. 4 penalty corners in this fourth quarter, excuse me.
Yeah, and if they could generate 3 penalty corners in a 15-second span, no doubt they can be able to do that over the span of a game.
Absolutely. 16 shots on goal for Kent State, most of which coming on penalty corners, as that is Danielle Ham that will get the penalty corner going for Kent State. And she will send it in the attacking circle. Kent State, the shot. Grainer's down. The ball is in. That shot there came off the stick of Augustina Florio, and it bounced over Grainer, much like the second goal did. And Kent State has tied this game at 3.
And that's rough for the Bobcats when you had a lead late in this match. Now it's time for the offense to be able to try to come back alive. But that's what happens. That many penalty corners, you can stave off a lot of them, but all it takes is to slip up just one time, and Kent State will get you.
Yeah, like you said earlier, you were wondering what the strategy was going to be for Ohio, whether they would be aggressive or whether they would be passive. I think that passive attitude has kind of gotten themselves in a lot of situations where they're susceptible to penalty corners like that.
Yeah, and it's easy for us to talk about aggressive versus passive when Kent State, when they're feeling that pressure, you're down by 1 late in the game on the road. I mean, it just becomes red alert. You've got to go. You've got to go right now, and you need to score, and you need to score now unless you want to be able to put yourself at risk to not even make the MAC tournament. If Kent State can be able to pull off early victories here against Ohio, and then, of course, the other 2 wins that they have, 3 wins almost gets you into the MAC tournament 4 wins is almost a guarantee in the MAC tournament. So that's what's really going to come down to. Only 7 conference games, and the difference between being 3-4 and 4-3 is huge when it's all said and done.
Florio works the ball into the attack circle. It was a good job there by Whittle putting her stick in the way. And we have a free hit for Ohio, as Whittle has been providing some very solid defense lately. We are under 4 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Florio on a penalty corner ties it at 3. On the far side over there, the ball will roll out of play. And it looks like that's Canberra Solar. That's going to get things going here for Kent State. Canberra Solar will play it back. Kent State looking over their options now that they've tied the game. A lot of relief off of the shoulders of those Kent State players, and a little bit more pressure provided for Ohio.
Indeed, but now here comes the tricky part. Now with Kent State having the big wave of momentum, can Ohio stop them from being able to score?
That pass was deflected by Sasha Dakota, and she has it on the near sideline. She finds Marla Call looking for Desmarais, unable to connect, and the Golden Flashes are down the near sideline looking for something going in the middle of the field. And they will keep possession, but the whistle will blow, and we have another Kent State penalty corner.
And it's just becoming ruthless at this point for Ohio. As again, they practice a lot about penalty corner offense, but now they're having to deal with penalty corner defense, and it's just constant. And again, when you give teams this many opportunities, it's reminding me of a game last year against the Michigan State Spartans, where the Spartans got into double-digit penalty corners as well for the day. And it's really hard to win games when that happens.
Yeah, Kent State, this happens to be just the biggest penalty corner of the game, converting on the last one. Let's see what they can do here, as this is Danielle Ham that will get things going for Kent State. Definitely a lot of pressure on the Bobcats, especially the goalie, Nilay Grainer. Ham throws it in. There's Florio. Florio passes it to Canberra Sola, and the Bobcats, with some solid defense there, will escape with this game remaining 3-3.
Yeah, 2 minutes, 20 seconds left to go. As it's make or break time, put up or shut up. Can the Bobcats be able to steal this one late, or will there be overtimes in the future?
Bodie Littlefield will get things going for Ohio. There's a Nuke Pleen who will send it across the field, and that one will roll out of play to Kent State on the Ohio side of the field. Kent State into the attack circle, and we have another penalty corner on Ohio. Kent State will line up for their 5th, 6th penalty corner of this fourth quarter.
Yeah, Charlie, it's hard to keep count at this
I'm
point.
losing
It's
track.
happening a lot. As you can see the energy on the bench from Kent State right now. It's making a huge difference. Whenever any play is on the far side, you can hear them shouting, you can hear them cheering on their teammates. They just seem to have an energy right now that Ohio hasn't been able to match. Of course, they have a much smaller team. Kent State has, look at all the different players that can potentially substitute in. But here it is. Ohio has to be able to stave this off. Can their defense remain impermeable?
Ham into the attack circle. Great save there by Grainer. Another great save by Grainer. And the ball is frozen. Ohio will pick things back up. There's Whittle now with the ball. Grainer making 2 unbelievable saves on that penalty corner. She was down and out, but she keeps the net empty, and this game remains tied at 3s.
Ohio needed that. They really needed that. They needed Grainer to step up. Even though on penalty corners you have a couple extra defenders, you're outnumbered for quite a bit of time, so that's where it's up to the goalie as Desmarais comes up with a big steal.
Desmarais looking ahead to Lichtenberg. Out comes Van Eyck, and that ball will roll past her and out of play. Ohio had numbers going down the field with Desmarais, Sasha Dakota, and Lichtenberg. Great opportunity for the Bobcats, and the Golden Flashes are able to keep this game tied.
Just 1 minute remains. We'll see which team can get their last final push.
On the near side, here's Catlin Holland. And a whistle will blow. Kent State will have a free hit. Picked off there by Desmarais. Sasha Dakota and Catlin Whittle. She goes down. And across the field, as Ohio is in business, across the midfield line, picked up there by Whittle. And the whistle will blow, and Kent State will take possession.
Kent State needed that. Ohio had all the momentum, and they had the offense coming in like an army. But Kent State was able to come up with a free hit exactly when they needed it, as now that's a pass that has maybe just a little too much mustard on it, matching the color of the Kent State jerseys.
That one will roll all the way out of play, and Kopp will get things going as we are almost under 10 seconds here to play in the fourth quarter, so I believe overtime is in order. And we have free hit for Kent State as 3, 2, and 1 tick off the clock. We are headed to overtime here in this field hockey matchup between Kent State and Ohio. 3-3 is your score. You are watching Ohio field hockey on Ohio Bobcat TV. Welcome back to Pruitt Field. It's overtime here in this field hockey matchup between the Ohio Bobcats and the Kent State Golden Flashes. 7-on-7 overtime, sudden death, nothing more exciting.
Yeah, it's insanely exciting, but when you look down at this matchup, Kent State, as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Charlie, they've had experience with overtime games, playing 2 of them. As for Ohio, they have not had any overtime game experience so far. Also, if you look at Kent State's roster, way more players than the Bobcats have. It's 24 players on Kent State to 18 players on Ohio. So that's something that could be to Kent State's advantage in an overtime situation like this. But for the Bobcats, they do have home field advantage, and that's going to be something they're going to have to lean on here in this overtime period, especially when running is going to be really important, as well as getting those clean passes. Passing lanes will be much more open than they were originally. But it is a sudden death sort of situation. You score, it's game over. As these two teams, they played an overtime game last year. Kent State won thanks to Sydney Washburn scoring a goal in the 76th minute. Can the Bobcats return the favor?
Sanook Pleen here on the near sideline finds Bodie Littlefield. It's Littlefield, Pleen, Whittle, Dakota, Desmarais, and I can't really see who that is on the near corner. Kent State will have possession, and up the near sideline, this is Alex Sacker. Ohio causing a turnover there. Taking the ball back, kind of settling things down. This is Bodie Littlefield with the ball.
Yeah, strategy kind of changes a little bit. Almost looks more like what you might be attuned to with ice hockey, where you have a little bit less players. You can kind of see things more spaced out. And for teams, this allows a lot more fast breaks to realistically happen. If any type of turnover happens, it can be brutal for teams to be able to get back on defense to deal with it.
There's a turnover you see there. There's Whittle on the far sideline trying to find Sasha Dakota in the middle of the field, unable to get there. Dakota applying some pressure on Kent State. And Kent State will watch that ball roll out of bounds. They will keep possession. And the 6th player on the field is Lichtenberg, I was mentioning earlier. That ball will roll out of play. Ohio will get possession. Bodie Littlefield will restart things.
We can already see Kent State trying to leverage their advantage a bit. They have 2 players right now that are just sitting on the sideline getting ready to substitute in when any of their players get tired. So as the game goes on, it becomes more and more disadvantageous for Ohio. So they're going to need to score quick and try to put this game away as soon as possible.
There's Bodie Littlefield on the far sideline. She's tripped up, and they will keep possession. Littlefield on the far sideline, still with the ball, gets it back to Anouk Pleen. And into the attack circle goes Pleen, looking for Whittle or Lichtenberg, unable to find either of them. Kent State with the ball now. Ohio really been able to apply some pressure here in this overtime period. Kent State working the ball around. This is Alex Sacker on the near side.
And they have a player ahead of everybody.
Yeah, that's Jenna McCurden getting loose. Whittle applying pressure to her. Into the attack circle goes Kent State. Poked away by Bodie Littlefield. Shot, and it's over the head of Grainer and out of play. From our angle, that did look like a solid shot. That's the 20th shot by Kent State in this game.
Yep, on goal as well. Again, putting that pressure on Grainer. That one was a good enough shot that it got to just the amount of perfect height to get over Grainer, but it just missed its mark. And from our angle, of course, it looked really, really close. So Bobcats live to fight another day as a couple of minutes have been drained in this overtime. Got 10-minute overtime period for the first one, 10-minute as well for the second if need be. And then we get into a shootout situation if that occurs as well.
Desmarais carrying the ball over the midfield line. It's going to be picked up by Bodie Littlefield on the Ohio free hit. Littlefield into the attack circle. Bodie Littlefield shoots. It's up. Desmarais unable to capitalize on the rebound. Bounced off of Van Eyck. And Desmarais was prime with the loose change, unable to cash in as Kent State back the other way. This is Sydney Washburn, was the hero last year for Kent State.
And finding the open spot.
Grainer. Florio was wide open on the backside. Whittle got over to defend her. and Sydney Washburn was looking to pick up the rebound if it would have gone off of Grainer. Shot goes wide and out of play, and Ohio will have possession.
Yeah, that was a good job to be able to cut into the attacking circle from the left wing. Those players that are trailing, it's going to be important for the defenders on the Bobcats to be able to trail right behind those players and provide a little bit of defense when need be. You can't allow people to have open looks towards the net.
This is Whittle now with the ball on the near side. Whistle's blown, and I believe Ohio will have a free hit. And it's going to be a nuke plea, and that's going to get things restarted for the Bobcats. Back to Bodie Littlefield. And across the field to Day Murray. Let's see what the Bobcats do. Try to go through the legs, does Day Murray. A little nutmeg action going on. And Ohio will keep things kind of a steady pace here for Ohio, not rushing anything, looking for opportunities and taking what Kent State is giving them. And the ball will roll into the goal. And it looks like Kent State will have a free hit. Or excuse me, Ohio will have a free hit. Back to Bodie Littlefield. Littlefield providing that scoring opportunity earlier into the attack circle with Sasha Dakotla. Kept in there by Lichtenberg. Whistle will blow, and Ohio will keep possession. They will end up having a free hit deep in Kent State territory.
Yeah, but I think they actually have a penalty corner here. So penalty corners kind of work similar way, but less defenders and a lot more space than what you'd usually have. So penalty corners in overtime are more dangerous than penalty corners happening in regulation. So golden opportunity for OU. They've scored on a couple penalty corners today, 2 of them to be exact. Can they make it 3? We shall see.
Kent State lining up for their penalty corner. It's going to be Day Murray to get things started for Ohio. This is definitely a pretty golden opportunity for Ohio. It'll be Whittle, Anouk Pleen, Lichtenberg, and Sasha Dakotla with Day Murray in the corner. Kent State gets prepared, as this is definitely a huge opportunity for Ohio to win this game. Day Murray will wait in the corner. And she sends it in. There's Lichtenberg. Lichtenberg with a shot off of a foot. They battle for it. Whistle blows. And Kent State will have a free hit. The ball was rattling around down there at the feet of Whittle, Dakotla, and Lichtenberg, but back the other way is Bodie Littlefield. And that pass is picked off there. It was Larissa Balachek getting things going for Kent State. In all alone, Kent State shoots and scores.
It was an open look. And ending the day is Patricia Strunk. She had the first goal of the day. She set the tone in the first 3 minutes, and she also shuts the door on a huge win for Kent State. As the Bobcats, once again, they've had a lot of these chances where they've had home games against some of the Big 2 teams that have had a stranglehold of the MAC. Kent State and Miami, they've had them in overtime situations. And now we see in this overtime situation in minute 66 of the game, Patricia Strunk gets it done. The freshman from Germany, showcasing she's a contender for Freshman of the Year in the Mid-American Conference.
Ohio definitely had some golden opportunities to win this game. That ball, that shot by Strunk, ricocheted off of the blocker of Grainer and into the back of the net. A one-on-one opportunity for the Golden Flashes, and they make no mistake. Patricia Strunk has the golden goal for the Golden Flashes, and Ohio falls at home for the first time this year. 4-3, your final score. Kent State takes this one in overtime as the players go through handshake lines. Got to be disappointing for Ohio, but there's a lot of good stuff to work on, like cleaning up passes and stuff like that. That will definitely prepare them for MAC play later in the year.
Yeah, but they won't have a lot of time to practice because coming up on Sunday, Michigan State comes to town, a team that is very talented and has a lot of players that can be able to make some noise. And we're a team that beat Ohio last year, so it's not going to get any easier as the Bobcats will match up against Michigan State Sunday and then follow it up with Ball State as their next MAC game on the road in Muncie. As for Kent State, They will be matched up against the Buckeyes of Ohio State coming up on Sunday on the road. The number 24 ranked Buckeyes will be a good test for the number 27 ranked Kent State Golden Flashes. And then that game will be followed up with Central Michigan, a game that should be a little bit of a kind of unbalanced opportunity. Central Michigan sitting at the bottom, Kent State at the top, but you never know in Mid-American Conference play. But as for Ohio, they fall to 1-2, so they slide all the way down to near the bottom side of the division, but still lots of time left. They got to pick up wins against Ball State, Central Michigan, Bellarmine, and App State. You got to at least go 3-1 the rest of the way to ensure a spot in the MAC tournament. And then after that, you have the opportunity to earn your opportunity to play Kent State again, earn your opportunity to play Miami of Ohio again. That's what it's going to come down to for these Bobcats.
So at the 6-minute mark in overtime, Patricia Strunk ends this game for Kent State. They will pick up the win, and Ohio will fall to 5-4 and their first home loss of the year.
Yeah, so it was an entire student-run production today. We want to give a shout-out to the people that have helped us, for our camera people throughout the day, Malcolm, Jordan, and Aiden, our director, Suleiman, as well as our producer, Dom. Also want to say shout-out to my color commentator / play-by-play broadcaster, Charlie James. My name is Cedric Granger, wishing you all a goodbye from Athens, Ohio. Our final score today, Bobcats 3, Kent State 4.